Howdy all and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Liam. Round 17 will be soon upon us, raring to go. A long round this one, Thursday to Monday. More days to watch my fantasy side hope crumble, hopefully not. But with regards to what I am doing this week, I have two options, and it is decided on one factor, and one factor only. That's Shane Montford. So my original plan, pretty simple: downgrade, upgrade, Highmore down to Garcia if he gets named, and then which allows me to get Matt Flynn up to Riley O'Brien. I can't get to Grundy. I feel like O'Brien's been the most consistent ruck at this very stage. He hasn't gone over 100 in his last 4 weeks, but he hasn't gone under 85 either. Pretty consistent, and he had a very good back end to last year, so hopefully he could replicate that. Unfortunately, with cash generation, I can't get Flynn to anyone. However, I did talk about Mumford, saying he's going to influence my decision. If Mumford is named, that trade will be performed. I don't like Flynn's role with Mumford in the side. He's probably playing like 20% ruck max. They do play Gold Coast this week, which is a tempting factor to hold, but I don't still see him scoring more than probably 50 if Mumford plays, and I want him to be scoring 75 minimum for me to keep him in my side at this stage of the year. But if Mumford isn't named and Flynn is the number one ruck, if Mumford and Flynn aren't named, then of course I'm trading Flynn. But if Mumford isn't named, Flynn's named number one ruck. With him and Briggs, they tend to share it a little bit more, but Flynn Pro-Take gets like 60%, Briggs gets 40%, and he scored 65-ish the last two times with Briggs. I feel like that's solid to hold. He might drop in cash, but there's two players which I'm desperately wanting in my side, and I can't do that unless I hold Flynn. I really want Dangerfield in my side. 670 for what role he had is it's dirt cheap. He's going to be 800k soon, and I don't have the cash to get that later on the season. So I was planning on going McCluggage to Dangerfield. McCluggage just is hit a wall lately. He's just bleeding cash, and even with Neil out, he couldn't score. He's only scored 1 ton his last four, I think. Bit of a dead weight in my side at this very moment. He is a pod, so him disappointing cost me not only 40 points myself, it cost 40 points for everyone, me 40 points on everyone else. Whereas if McRae did that, 85% of the people around me would have the same fall. So McCluggage to Dangerfield, and then Heaney up to De Goey. I really like De Goey's role on the weekend. At midfield, him pushing back into defence. They like the ball in his hands. He hits so many cheap marks. Collingwood love to chip it around. They love to be a possession side. They're not the best side in terms of scoring ability. I don't rate their forward line at all. But in terms of racking up, we can see Chris Mayne, Jack Crisp. They love it. They're just racking up consistent tons. And De Goey outscored all of them last week. And at 570, it's just an absolute steal. You could say Heaney scored 80 last week. He scored 40 that in the second half, in the last quarter when the game was absolutely dead. He was lucky to get to 65 instead of he got to 80 in the end. So those are my two options. So downgrade Highmore to Garcia, Flynn up to Riley O'Brien, or go with McCluggage and Heaney to De Goey and Dangerfield, who both have super low break evens this week, and just probably keepers to the end. I know De Goey is a risk with injury and all that, but I'm not ranked 9,000. I need to change something up. And Dangerfield will be popular, and I just feel like he's a must-have. And plus, it gives me a bit of flexibility. If one of my other forwards do tend to fail, I can just switch Dangerfield back into the forward line and bring in a premium midfielder. So I'll still have Flynn and Sharp to still be upgraded. But yeah, as I said, if Flynn can play that number one role, I don't mind playing him on field. But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking this week. And with regards to captain options, at the moment I like Merritt against Adelaide. He just been racking up lately. He's probably going to put a poor score now. I've VC'd him. Yeah. Sorry, I've got a bit of a cold. So with yeah, sorry about all that. I really like him against the Crows. He's early on the round. I can use Sharp I can't use O'Connor, but I can use Sharp with the loop, where I'll be looping Newcomb and Sharp. I'll be looping Newcomb and Sharp. That's funny. I always keep saying Sharp and then forgetting that I've got two Sharps on my side. But then the captain option I really like this week is Taranto against Gold Coast. I see him absolutely racking up. I'm glad I've got a few GWS players on my side. I feel like this is going to be a little bit of a bloodbath. GWS winning last week. They look good side. Gold Coast only played Richmond. Richmond looked off. I see a 10-goal nearly smashing in this. So I'm keen to watch those scores rack up. Probably just jinxed it right there. But those are my thoughts. Took Miller will probably still go massive in that game. Parrish against Adelaide will go massive. Still against Brisbane, I feel like I'll be a bit wary of. He's still a great option as a player, but not as a VC this week. Bontempelli against Sydney. Sydney seem to be very stingy at times, and I just don't like putting VCs or captains against them. So Bontempelli, McRae, bit iffy, and I'm just worried. I don't think it will happen, but Sarong's sometimes gone to the opposition's best midfielder. He couldn't go with Walsh last week because he had an amazing running capacity, but he might be able to keep up with Titch. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm just not going to risk the VC. I prefer it on Merritt. And then playing Taranto with the C. Kelly is also a great option. It was hard picking between these two. As Taranto loves them. They both love a cheap kick, but Taranto probably loves a little bit more of a hug. His +4s, and his ceiling's been pretty high when he gets going. Other options to consider: Aaron Hall, Zeeble against West Coast. West Coast have been pretty bad as of late. The only problem with that is the ball might not be down there, and they're playing the last game. Seeing them, I prefer a VC. It could be a monster VC if you VC'd them, but captain, no, I wouldn't do that. That's my thoughts for this round. Make sure with your teams you're still improving them. Try not to do too much straight swapping. The rookies are the main priority to get off your field because they're the ones halting those massive scores. They tend to have a ceiling of 60, whereas you might have a primo like a Stringer, like a De Goey. They've got ceilings of 120. They might have a little bit of a low floor, but to post those massive numbers, you need players with high ceilings to move up the ranks, and they have to be consistent as well. Might not put Stringer and De Goey as consistent in the same sentence, but they have been in the last couple of weeks, so hopefully they can continue. Good luck with your trades for this round. If you've got any last minute comments, let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you on Monday night for hopefully a better review than last week. Stay safe.